course. Oh, and we're live. I don't think YouTube's caught up yet, but we'll sit here and wait, like always. Because, we got nothing better to do.
Okay, I'm watching your commercial.
Oh, you're watching my commercial?
Yeah.
Is it a good commercial?
Juniper.net.
I don't know that one.
I don't know it either. It's like a cartoon.
Okay, who we got in here? We've got Ray the Fam, KJ, we've got Fallen Angel, we've got Lady Swan, we've got West Haven, we've got Mike Mendez. How's everyone doing tonight? Dog him!
Dog him.
We did have Ghost Mafia, now he's on panel. Angel Max, what's up? Fallen Angel. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. And if you're lurking, come say hi. Why? Hey, Darwin, what's up? Stopping by to say hi and have a good night. Where the fuck you think you're going? Jenny, how's it going? As I'm swearing at Darwin. Hey, Valerie, how's it going? God damn it, now I'm stuck in a commercial.
I know it's online, but time
I'm stuck in a freaking commercial. So, guys, today's Whacked Out Wednesday. Well, tonight's Whacked Out Wednesday isn't going to be your traditional. I have a lot of bitching to do. I have come across a bunch of screwed up freaking stories that I've heard today. Hey, Dennis, what's up? I originally was gonna do like whacked out accidents, like freak accidents that were funny but weren't funny. One of those things where it's okay and you'd laugh. And they're okay, and some of them were more like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, and it actually resulted in someone dying. But it's going to be a mix of like news and world events that I just came across. Like some of these posts on Facebook. I have seen nothing but horrible posts today on Facebook.
Really?
Absolute horrible posts.
Like what?
Police looking for a person who chopped off a puppy's legs and tails. It's literally a dog with no legs, no tail, and they're all bandaged. Shit like that. I came across, I really wish I remember the name of the farm, but one of these farms, I believe it's in the States. Give me a second. It's a dairy farm, but they do it kind of like where you can take, when you go on like old school trips, guys, where the one hung by the crane. Yes, that one too. There was one today but that one I kind of agree with. So in Yemen, there was 3 pedophiles in Yemen. I don't agree with that. There's something wrong. No. 3 men in Yemen were actually shot publicly and then hung by a crane for raping and murdering a little boy. Things like that. Now, granted, guys, these are
Fair Oaks Farm was the
there.
name
You
of the
go,
farm.
Fair Oaks. Okay, so Fair Oaks Farm, okay, is one of those places. Like as a kid, you go to school and stuff. I don't know if you guys do the same down in the States, but here you go to school and you have your field trips where they take you to like. Up here, you go to like the maple farm and you learn about how they make maple syrup, or you go to like the farms and learn about dairy cows or horses or whatever, petting zoos and things like that, okay? I mean, there's other field trips, but I'm just giving you an idea. This place is partnered with Coca-Cola. Now, I watched the video, and it was utterly disgusting, okay? This company the short form for the company name is ARM, okay? I can't remember what it stands for now, but they sent one of their workers. They're an animal activist group, okay? They sent one of their workers in to Fair Oaks Farm. And they actually got footage of these, I'm going to call them assholes because that's what I see them as. They were picking up brand new baby calves and whipping them around and burning them and throwing them into trailers and throwing them into like the little hutches that they keep them in. Now, this farm also says that they don't believe in sending their calves off to be veal. Well, their employee followed the truck that was hauling away a bunch of the calves, a bunch of the male calves. Okay. Was hauling them away only to find out that they were sent to a farm, a separate farm, to be made into veal. Now, anyone who's like into Coca-Cola products knows that Coke always says how they're against animal cruelty and all this stuff. Well, Coca-Cola's partnered with this farm. So to me, it was disgusting. Like these poor calves, it was horrible. Yes, Animal Recovery Mission, ARM. That was the name of the company that sent in their guy undercover. Now, they were also told that the employee, which is part of ARM, would be fully trained. And the only training that employee got was they were told basically, if you're driving the tractor with dead calves on it, take the back roads so no one sees you. So it didn't affect their business.
That's fucked up.
That's messed up, in my view. Completely messed up. I get it, okay? It's a farm. And I get it. That's your way of making money. But don't lie to people. Don't lie to people. And there's no reason to be abusing the animals the way that they were. Or are, I should say. I don't even know if it's done and over with. Again, you're welcome. Thank you. I'll stop. Well, and this is the thing. Like in the video, now, granted, I did talk to Ghost about this before the show, and he's like, well, if they knew, like, they only know what's on paper. Like, Coke only knows what's on paper. But I don't know about anyone else. If I was running a big corporation like that, and I'm about to make a partnership and be responsible for funding said business, I want to know that what they're saying is actual truth. I want to know before I put my company name on it that you're actually decent, you're actually not doing these things, because this could be very damaging for Coca-Cola. Very damaging.
Well, Coca-Cola has been around for fucking generations.
Well, and that again, Coca-Cola is such a big, huge corporation. They're literally all over the world. You can buy Coke in China. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the amount of businesses that it partners with on a daily basis, you know, obviously they can't send somebody out every single time that somebody fills out a partnership paperwork or a exclusive sales agreement to where, you know, like you said, it's a concession stand and they sign a contract with Coke that they'll be supplied Coca-Cola products and only sell Coca-Cola products at those concession booths or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's not exactly a partnership, but it is an exclusive agreement between that company and Coca-Cola. That being said, you know, some schools do the same thing. You know what I mean? Schools will, for their concession stands for their football, basketball, or baseball, you know, stuff like that. And they'll exclusively, you know, sell Coke products. And what they get from that, and this from me being in Domino's for like 10 years in management, every year, if you sell so much Coke, you'll get bonus checks from Coke on the amount of turnover that you sell. Plus, you get so much free product each year as well. Any new product that Coke comes out with, you'll get a shitload of that for free to sell in your stores. So, I mean, you know, there's hundreds of thousands of little tiny small businesses, farms, you know, things like that will fill out a partnership agreement and send in, and you know, it's just some fool behind a desk with a stamp pad going, okay, approved. They're going to sell Coke for us. Okay, approved. They're going to, and they're not going to send somebody out every time.
I understand, but when it comes to farm and Coke is avid about animal cruelty and all this shit, that's something like when it comes to those kinds of businesses, they should be sending someone out to check. I'm sorry.
Well,
you can't advocate saying that you're all for animal rights and this and that, and then not go and check out these places. You know, like that's irresponsible on Coke's behalf.
Well, when that comes out publicly, you know that Coke's going to turn around and go, "We're partnered with them? Really? Who okayed this?" you know, and they're going to yank that ticket. They're going to yank that franchise ticket out of that
Well,
person.
if it wasn't for this company arm that went in and actually got the footage of it, no one would know. Honest to God, like some of these guys in the video had smiles on their face while they're beating the crap out of a newborn calf.
See,
Like,
I've never heard this.
They had
far
mothers
either.
in the pen right directly across from them. Okay, so the hutches were on this side, the mothers were right here. The mothers were crying out for their calves because the calves were obviously crying out. They're in pain. Okay, the mothers are crying out to the point where the actual mothers are losing their voices. Like it was making the cow's voice hoarse. I had a different Coke in 1985. Oh, they had a different Coke. Yeah. Coke has changed over the years, but I'm saying as an advertising standpoint and as a marketing standpoint, they really need to be selective. You know, I get it. These companies depend on people buying their products to make it. But if half of these people bother to look into where they're going with these products, it would be totally different. Hey, Eastad, what's up? Hey to everyone that came in. Don't Rock, James, everybody, how's it going? Tonight's Whacked Out Wednesday is a little different. We're talking like random world events, just so you know.
You all know how the life gets when she's not around.
I hope Donna is feeling better. I did speak with her today. I'm not going to get into about what, but Donna, I do hope you are feeling better, hon. And of course, you have prayers. Also, and so this is kind of like people getting hurt today, animals kind of deal. This is kind of what I'm going with. It's more of a rant kind of Whacked Out Wednesday versus a regular like storytelling. Here's another one for you, okay? There was a teenager, okay? 19 years old. 19, okay? Get that age into your head. 19 years old. He was hospitalized. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. If your child is this stupid, please, 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 I'm begging you, get your child some help before they become this dumb. Okay? I say this because he's 19 years old. He had been studying all night. He was hospitalized, not from the studying, but because he had pains in his lower abdomen because he read somewhere on the fucking internet that you could shove a battery up your ass and recharge yourself.
Yep.
What the fuck?
I'm not even joking. This 19-year-old did this, and the battery started to basically, leak.
Hey, Brian, I got something for you, man. Here.
It's got a battery. Okay.
AA.
I know. I'm not kidding. Okay. Now, this is not the first time this kid has done something stupid. Okay. And I say this because this child, when he was 17, he swallowed a bar of iron because the doctor told him his iron was low.
What the fuck?
Now, I'm sorry, okay? I could understand this kid's stupid. Now, as a doctor, would you not prescribe him something? You just say your iron's low and just send him on his way?
No.
No, of course not. So this kid swallows a fucking bar of iron. 17 years old, swallows this bar of iron. At 19, he thinks you can fucking recharge yourself like the goddamn Energizer Bunny and shoves a battery up his ass.
This sounds like one of those people that reads those posts on Facebook that says, you can run your car off of Coca-Cola. Just fill the gas tank with or, you can keep your engine cool by filling your oil cap thing full of water. And we've all seen those posts. And you have to wonder how many people ruin cars by actually reading that and doing it, Well,
and this is the thing, but as your parents, okay, don't you think, I'm going to say it, okay, I'm a parent, you're a parent. I blame the parents. How could you not know your kid was this dumb? It's your job to teach them this shit.
Okay, so now here's kind of a bonehead thing that our daughter did. Pulled up to the gas pump, filled her car up, did not realize that she was pulling up to the diesel pump. So she filled her car up with diesel fuel instead of regular gasoline.
Okay.
Would that cost her to get fixed?
Oh, I don't remember, but not too long ago, you caught me pulling up to the diesel pump.
Oh, yeah. I caught you pulling up to the diesel pump, too, and yelled at you. Yes.
Okay, but in all fairness, depending on the gas station, some of them aren't labeled properly. Okay? That's not as bad as thinking you can charge yourself by sticking a battery up your ass. It's also not as bad as thinking you can fix an iron deficiency by swallowing a bar of fucking iron. Like this kid, like you think once he swallowed the iron, you think the parents would learn to pay attention to what the hell this kid's doing. And the scary part is this kid was studying so he could finish high school and go to college. Could you imagine this kid running your country?
No.
You know, and I'm one of those people that I believe in the Darwin effect. You know what that is, right?
Yes.
Okay, the Darwin effect, for the people out there in the chat that don't know what it is that the earth will sort itself out. Stupid people will end up dying stupid ways, like doing something stupid to get themselves killed, basically. And you know, it's natural selection, but at the same time, it's
just okay. And I agree with that, but the problem is right now we have more stupid than we have common sense. Okay, so I mean, how stupid is stupid for you to be eliminated?
It just depends on how brave they are, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this kid survived shoving a battery up his ass that was leaking. So, I mean, what if he survives?
I mean, I did some stupid stuff when I was a kid. I jumped off a train trestle on a dare, and yeah, I've done some stupid stuff.
I can't say I have done stupid stuff too. We used to play a game called Manhunt. Okay, and if the train was going by, we'd jump on it while it was moving. Okay, didn't think anything of it, and jump off it while it's moving. It was going slow enough because you're in town. Okay, but I mean, it freaking says it on the damn battery for external use. Goes into like electronics and shit. What's going on?
I was waiting for Darwinism to come out. Darwin.
That's like doing surgery with a battery knife. And the thing is the kid had to have it surgically removed. Like, just why? Why? I don't get it. I don't understand these stupid people. I don't.
I mean, I can remember there was times that we took my buddy's Mustang. He had a little 5.0 Mustang. We was out in the school parking lot after school was closed. Here I am on the top of the car. I got one hand holding on to one side window jamb on the roof, the other hand on the other side on the window jamb on the roof, and my toes hooked underneath the trunk lid. And we are out there doing donuts in the parking lot, and he's purposely trying to throw me off the car, and he couldn't shake me. And that was some of the stupid shit that I did when I was a kid.
Like, I mean, we used to do car sailing and all that shit, like car surfing and crap. And I mean, it was not smart. I'll admit that. But now looking back on it, at least I can say it wasn't smart. I'm not one of these people that just goes, oh yeah, it was so much fun, I'd do it again. You know what I mean? I know what's at risk if I do that shit. First of all, I'm too out of shape, too old to be pulling that kind of shit. I would hurt myself. But I don't know. I worry for this generation.
I mean, we did stuff like we'd go out to the dump and see the black bear and throw firecrackers at him, get them to chase you, and then just take off like a bat out of hell in a pickup truck.
Yeah.
As we're throwing firecrackers at bears,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, stupid things.
I mean, there is stupid things, but come on, nowadays, that just excuse for being that stupid. Just saying. I can't. Oh my god.
But
okay,
battery up the wazoo.
I posted something today on Facebook, okay? And it was about gingerbread men. I don't know if you
yeah, we've seen that.
Okay, so that post is they're trying to change now. Before anyone gets their freaking panties in a knot, I'm all for gay, lesbian, bi, straight. It don't matter what the fuck you are. Okay, I don't hate you based off of that shit. I don't really hate anyone. Okay, but to force your views on everyone else just because you can, okay, is complete and utter bullshit. They're going now as far as wanting to change it from gingerbread man to gingerbread person. It's a fucking cookie. Just eat it, okay? Doesn't matter if it's a man, a woman, or a fucking dog, a cat, or fucking whatever.
But it's ginger. It don't have no say.
Okay? And this one lady, now I don't know who she is. I know she used to watch my channel. I don't know if she still does, and quite frankly, I don't care because I told her where to go today. And the reason I told her where to go is because she got on there and she commented. She's like, "Oh well, you know, it's just like Hitler trying to control kids and brainwash them." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I'm like, "We don't talk about that shit on here." I'm like, "No one said anything about it." And then she read my comment back to her, and she was snooty about it. So I told her in the nicest way possible, "Go fuck yourself." Okay.
You didn't.
I did. Can you believe that?
Oh my dear Lord.
But in the process of
Your
doing
mouth.
this, I came across another fucking post. And I'm telling you, stupid is everywhere today. That is like the theme of the day today, just stupidity. And the reason this post stuck out after the gingerbread thing is because now there is a new thing called transabled. Have you ever heard about this?
No.
It is a new disease that they classify, or they call it BIID. Okay? Basically, these people believe that they cannot work. Okay? So, or that they should be disabled. So they are literally causing themselves bodily harm so they can obtain a disability. 1 second, folks. My co-host has left.
No, I'm here.
They've been causing themselves bodily harm. Now, one has actually convinced her psychiatrist to help her go blind because she feels that she should have been blind at birth. Now, hold on, that's not even the best one yet, okay? I understand people have mental illnesses. I understand people with disabilities, okay? I get that. But why the fuck on earth would you want to self-mutilate? Because, like, why? And so they're giving these people options because now they're not sure if it's a psychosis thing or if it's an actual mental illness. But they're not helping them in the way that you think, like, okay, get them therapy. Their therapists are actually enabling them by helping them become disabled, even if it's only temporary.
You know, and here's the thing, okay?
It is wrong, Becky.
I worked most of my life. I have volunteered in the fire department, 10 years there. You know, did all this stuff. Played football up until my 30s.
Yep.
Like, and I'm not talking about just playing in the backyard football. I was playing for the West Virginia Firefighters Association in charity games and events against like West Virginia State Troopers and things like that up into my 30s. Okay. My knees are shot. Okay. There's no doubt about it. I can't afford, you know, knee replacement surgery. All right. And with my malignant hyperthermia and being allergic to anesthetics, you know, I prolong any kind of surgeries that I have to have as long as possible because any surgery that requires anesthetics could be a fatal surgery for me.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, you know, if you work hard all your life, you know, you're going to end up messed up. You don't have to go out and purposely try to mess yourself up so that you can get Social Security benefits or, you know, whatever these people.
This is the thing is they claim they're not doing it for the money. Okay. They're claiming that this is the way they should have been born. So like, and again, I'm not digging at anyone before anyone starts going, oh my God, she hates on this. I don't. Okay. They're trying to claim it's the same as like when gay people come out, okay? How everybody accepts the fact that, okay, they're just wired differently, you know? This is the way that they should have been, or the people that feel like they shouldn't have been born a man, they should have been born a woman. They're kind of comparing it to that. So like this one lady had her
I
psychiatrist.
understand that.
Hold on though. This one lady, her psychiatrist helped her become blind by putting numbing drops in her eyes while they put freaking drain cleaner in her fucking eyes to make her permanently blind.
Why?
Because she felt that she should have been blind from birth. That literally. So she got her first cane at 18. She could still see, by the way, just saying. She learned how to read Braille, like she's fluent in Braille. She was always fascinated by people that were blind and things like that. Like it gave a whole readout on her. And her doctor literally helped her go blind.
That makes no sense.
Now right? Why would you want to take away your sight? Hey, Walker family. Why would you want to do that? I mean, and here's the other thing. This is what irks me. I know you guys have organ donation down there. We have it up here too. Most countries do have it. If that's the case, why wouldn't you find a route where you could legally donate your damn eyes instead of ruining perfectly good eyes that someone else could use that actually wants to see? Right? Would that not make sense? Like the whole basis of this is these people are going to extreme extents or to become disabled. This one lady wants to be a paraplegic.
How far are they going to take this? Is somebody going to pop up one of these days and go, I should have been born dead, so I want to be dead? You know what I mean? Like
a lady wanted to be a paraplegic since she was a child. She rode her bike off of, I think they said it was like a 5-foot stage or something like that as a kid, trying to cause herself to have such an injury that she would have lost the use of her legs. But it didn't work that way. She ended up with scrapes and bruises. Okay. Now, as an adult, she's tried cliff jumping and everything else to try and break her legs and damage her spine to the point where she becomes a paraplegic. So to stop her from doing these dangerous acts and possibly committing suicide, because that sometimes it can lead to that. Okay. Her doctor recommends that she sits in a wheelchair. And then when she doesn't feel like being in a wheelchair, she can just get up and walk. Well, I'm sorry. I hate to break it to her. If you're a paraplegic, you can't just get out of that damn wheelchair whenever you want. It doesn't work that way. Like, I don't think these people thought this shit through. Yeah, see? Beautiful Becky, okay? She goes, I wish I could talk, walk, sing. These people think it's fun, etc. In reality, it's not. And I fully agree with you. I don't think it's right at all.
John Riles, I can help her reach her dream.
Like, it's all over the world. It's not just like a U.S. thing or a Canadian thing. It's all over the place.
I mean, I can see where they're coming from with the gender, because, when that fetus is in development, okay, it's for a certain period of time, it can be altered from time. You know what I mean? It can be changed. You can change from a boy to a girl in a fetus just by drinking a glass of wine at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
It literally can happen that way. And, if they feel that they should have been born a man or they should have been born a woman, I can almost understand that. But,
I just think people are taking it.
What happens when somebody comes out and says, I should have been born with Down syndrome? Mom, you didn't take enough aspirins when I was, in the oven there. Just like, that's some stupid shit.
Well, and this is my point. This is where it comes back to they're taking this shit way too far. Okay? Way too far. They want to change how school is. They want to change how we name things, for Christ's sakes. They want to now change whether or not they were born with a disability. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. And tell me what you're going to get out of it. Okay? Now, at least with gender reassignment, okay, it's expensive. Okay, it's costly. But if you have the means to do it and that's what you feel you should have been, now it does not change your DNA, it just changes your appearance. That's all it does. Okay. And I'm not trying to.
And it doesn't take away that person being a productive member of society.
Exactly. But my point is at least if say you decided that you feel that you should have been a woman, okay? If you went for that surgery and you could afford to do that surgery, but you could also go back and go, you know what, maybe I did fuck up. You could also get it reversed. Okay. Once you become permanently disabled, there is no fucking going back. It's not a game. And that's a lot of these people, like these self-entitled, whiny little bitches, is what I'm going to call them. Okay. Because that's essentially what they are. Because in my eyes, someone who just wants to be disabled because, I don't know, they're selfish. Like, do you ever think of what that's going to do to the people around you? What about the people that actually are disabled, that can't help it, that want to do things like Becky said, okay?
Yeah, she's saying she didn't have a choice to be born the way that she was born.
Mm-hmm.
And if she had a choice, I'm sure that she wouldn't want to have been born nonverbal and all that, you know?
Exactly.
Like, who wants to be in that situation?
Exactly. Why would you willingly go out of your way to try and do that? And if they're okay with helping people achieve this shit, then are you going to be okay with putting them on Social Security or like welfare or permanent disability where it comes out of taxes to pay for these people?
Now this is just my personal opinion. Again, just opinion. Okay. Back in from the 70s through the 80s up into like the early 90s, there was a doctor in Michigan. It was Dr. Kevorkian. He was the assisted suicide doctor.
Yes.
And they fought and fought and fought, you know, because people would say, well, it's my right, it's my choice. And, you know, I'm going through all this pain and suffering and I don't want to put my family through it. And that should be my choice. Well, they convicted him. He went to jail. Okay. Yep. Okay. And these doctors that are making people paraplegics and things, look, I think it's the same route. Like, you know, if God intended you to have legs and use them, you're going to have legs and use them.
Well, and that's just it, right? Like, it's just, I personally, now I hate to be the one to say this because it sounds like I'm whining, and I'm not whining. I'm glad I can walk. I'm glad I can see. I'm glad I can talk and move. And I feel for the people that don't get that option, okay? But it's not fair to go out of your way and do that. But yet, if someone is really, really miserable, can't pull themselves out of depression, they don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and they want to off themselves, up here, you can actually get arrested for trying to commit suicide. Did you know that? Okay. But yet, up here, one of those people, the lady that I was talking about that's trying to be a paraplegic, she lives up here. She lives on the east coast of Canada. And they're okay with this. And it's like, okay, you'll jail someone for trying to take their own life, which takes them right off the map altogether. But yet, you're not going to jail someone for trying to break their own spine? Like, what's wrong?
There's the catch-22 of it. Okay. Now, if they're dealing with a terminal illness and it's their choice that they want to do the assisted suicide thing and end their life while they're still in the right mind and all that stuff, okay, after it's done, they're not going to be a burden on society, so to speak. They're not going to be collecting Social Security benefits. They're not going to be collecting food stamps or anything like that because they can't work. But these people that are wanting to be paraplegics and things, they're going to be living off the system for the rest of their life. Because they're going to be getting a check from Social Security and disability, like all these benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever. You know, the government's going to end up paying for them for the rest of their life. They're no longer an active participant in the social order of things anymore.
Yep.
They're basically just a drain on the system. At least the person who is suffering and wants to end the suffering isn't going to be a drain on society anymore.
Yeah.
It's like these other people are wanting to do it just to be a drain on society.
Well, and that's just it, right? And that's what Becky said. She goes, I think they just want the free money and not have to work. And that's a good possibility. And Dawn says the government's okay with it because they want people to depend on the government. But the thing is even when you're in the government system like that, okay, whether you had a choice or not, you still get screwed. It's no way to live. You can't live off that shit. I'm sorry, but you can't. It doesn't cover it nowadays with cost of living and all the expenses nowadays. You cannot live off of it. Okay. So really all it's really going to do is screw the economy big time. Like, I mean, big time. You think about it. Okay. If 1 in every 1,000 people decide to do this and actually go through with it and they become disabled to the point where they can't work, imagine how much money the government is going to put out. Imagine how much prices are going to go up on everything. Cost of living will go up, and there ain't going to be money to cover it. There's going to be a lot more homeless. There's going to be a lot more hungry people starving to death. It'll essentially turn the U.S. and Canada into a third world country in a matter of years. Yeah, see, Becky, she goes, yep, I have a limited income. You do. And that's the thing. Like, it's not right. It's not right at all, in my opinion. And again, guys, this is just our opinion. It's just, I mean, you can agree or disagree. It doesn't really matter. But I think, honestly, shit like that should be outlawed. If you can't choose when you want to live or die, why the hell do you get to choose whether or not you walk? That also being said, I do have a friend that I grew up with that was blind and born that way, but she went blind gradually. Okay? And she still works full time. Whereas the lady in this story doesn't work. I'm still trying to figure out how she didn't get charged with disfigurement, because that's essentially what she did. She disfigured herself on purpose.
Well, I don't think we have any laws against disfigurement unless you're doing it to somebody else.
But the doctor helped her. The doctor disfigured her.
Okay, so then that would be on the doctor. You know, I mean, not necessarily her. But, I mean, you know, if that was the case around here, I'd probably be in jail because 21 tattoos, that could be considered disfigurement. You know, that could be considered disfigurement. But, yeah, we don't have anything like that around here unless you're doing it to somebody else without their permission. You know, like if I was going to take a knife to somebody's face and hold them down and be like, I'm going to cut your lips off, you know. Yeah, that'd be disfigurement. Then I'd go to jail. But
oh my God. So in 2007, Oakland, California, a man walking down the street. Okay. Now, this is described as 1,000,000 to 1 chance of this happening. An SUV struck a fire hydrant. That fire hydrant went flying and actually hit the 24-year-old man in the temple, killing him.
Ooh, that's a lightning strike right there.
Right? 200 pounds of iron flew directly into his temple. And you know the little knob at the top? It actually went through his temple.
Ouch.
And get this, the lawsuit didn't go through.
I will take him up in a minute.
The family got absolutely nothing.
How did the law? Okay, first I got to ask, what was the lawsuit?
They were suing the driver because the driver was impaired.
Okay. The driver was impaired. He hit the fire plug. It shot out. Temple killed somebody.
Yep. So
involuntary manslaughter.
Yep.
First or second degree.
Yep.
Somewhere in there. I would have to say that the family would need to follow up and go after him with a wrongful death suit and sue the guy for wrongful death.
They tried to, and it never went through.
Huh.
But he went to jail. He got jail time. Okay. But he only served a year.
Wow.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean about whacked out world. Okay, this world is so screwed up that a drunk driver literally got a year in jail, even though he killed someone, whether it be accidental or not. He killed someone. He shouldn't have been driving drunk to begin with.
Hmm.
I mean, unless they're considering it, he didn't actually strike the guy with the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that happened after the vehicle crashed that would make it like an act of God, because literally the chances of that happening were, like you said, astronomical, of that fire plug flying through the air and hitting the guy in the temple and killing him. But at the same time, it can be argued that, well, if the guy wasn't drunk driving and had to hit the plug in the first place, it wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, literally the rarity, I have to say that somebody had a good lawyer and they argued act of God on it.
I honestly, but this is my point. Like, the system itself is so freaking, it's corrupt. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
Hold on. Don says today's society is way, way, way off kilter. It is. And honestly, I blame the whole, oh, well, we've got to be sensitive to each other. No, I don't know how many. Okay, put it this way. Guys, put a 1 in the chat. How many times growing up did you ever hear the saying, if you're going to cry, I'll give you something to cry about? I got told that all the time. Okay.
Cry about, boy.
Right? And I mean, this is the problem, is you're not allowed to be a parent, but you're not allowed to be rude to someone, but you're also not allowed to defend yourself, but someone else can pick on you and you've got to sit there and take it. And it's complete and utter bullshit. Like, literally, people are getting off scot-free, whether it was an act of God or not. He was drinking and driving. You killed someone. If you drink and drive and get into a car accident and kill someone, you don't get off easy.
I can remember telling my boys I'd send them to school, and they come home from school and such is picking on me, and I was getting bullied by this kid or that kid. I said, next time he comes up to you and starts bullying you, I said, you ball up your fist and you punch him right in the throat.
Yep.
I said, you put him down, you keep him down. Then you say something witty like, that's what you get, bitch, and walk away.
Aw, thank you, Kels. Thank you for the super chat, hon.
Don't just sit there and take it. Your teacher's going to be like, turn the other cheek. Don't need to, you got to be good. You got to be considerate of others, blah, blah, blah. Let him be considerate after he gets his ass whipped.
Well, and see, and I believe in that too. Like, here, I understand it, okay? And I tell the kids, it is different from when I was in school and when Brian was in school and the kid's dad, and, it's completely different. And I get that, no tolerance thing. Okay, well, then why do you tolerate these bullies?
Right?
These bullies are picking on kids to the point where some of these kids are getting so sensitive. Hell, I've heard of a 5th grader committing suicide because of this shit, because they didn't deal with the bully. Okay?
That's what I tell the boys. I said, you don't go out looking for fights, but when one comes to you, you better win it. Because
Right?
I've taught you.
Well, see, and that's
what they can't get away. Punch them in the throat. They're going to go down. They're going to stay down.
well, and I've always told the kids, you tell the teacher. If the teacher can't do it, tell the principal. If the principal can't do it and I can't fix it, the next time that someone puts their hands on you, you hit them back. And I told the school flat out here. I said, if my son's being bullied to the point where he doesn't feel safe going to school and someone's hitting him or pushing him, and you guys aren't going to stop it, then he has my full permission to haul off and him.
Kel says, my dad always told me that I would never get in trouble with them if I stood up to my bullies when I was in school. That's right. My mom used to tell me, she'd say, you go to school and you get in a fight, you get your ass beat, I'm going to beat your ass again when you get home.
Yep.
That was my mom.
Yeah. Well, my parents, like my dad was the same way. My mom was always, oh, no, don't do it. My dad was like, no, screw that. Someone hits you, you hit them back, and you make sure that you take them down. Yeah. Like, he also, now mind you, he did teach us how to fight fair, and he always told us if you're ever in like an ongoing fight kind of thing, He's like, when someone's down, he's like, you never hit a man when he's down. He's like, you help him up and hit him again. How times did I hear BU don't do that shit again? Yep. And that's the thing is kids nowadays all want to be like someone else. Nobody teaches them how to be themselves.
Well, I think kids today have a lack of respect for their elders.
Yep.
I mean, now look. When I was in school, when I was playing football, the coaches were allowed to put their hands on you. The coaches would beat the living shit out of you if you messed up out there on the field.
Yep.
You cost them their championship, you better believe you're getting an ass kicking from the coach. You know, it ain't gonna be like a fisticuff, but he's gonna work your ass off. He's gonna throw you around. He's gonna sling you around by your face mask. You're gonna be doing push-ups, up downs until you puke every day. They ain't allowed to do that shit no more.
Well, see, and that's another thing. It doesn't. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I have to go lay down. Donna, don't be sorry. Just go rest. I know what's going on with you. Go rest. Take it easy. And I will message you later. Dog out. But like, and I do agree. Walker family says they need to bring back playground justice. Up here, they literally took away our self-defense law. I remember growing up, you could defend yourself and you would not get in shit, okay? As long as you weren't the one that started the fight. Now, if someone hits you or is breaking into your house or does something to you and you defend yourself or your property, you get charged too. They're like, fair is fair. No, fair is not fair, okay? If some asshole breaks into my house and is threatening my family or hurting me, hurting my kids, best believe I'm going to fucking do something. If you're going to charge me, I'm going to make it worth the charge.
Right?
Like, I don't understand why you would take that away. To me, that's your right.
Somebody breaks into my house, tries to get at my family, or tries to do something to OG or my wife or kids or anything like that. 3 hots and a cop for the rest of my life, buddy.
Yep. Be doing live streams from the cell.
They allowed it.
Brian's like, if they allowed it. Red Kryptonite. That's why someone mess with me, I will blow them up with my RPG. Oh, God. Don, oh, my God. My effing typos. And this is the thing, is this world is so screwed up that it doesn't matter what you do. Like, people are so fucking confused, and I blame the Tide Pods. Blame the fucking Tide Pods. That's all I can say. You've got people, like, smoking and fucking eating bath salts and doing Tide Pods. And, like, whatever happened to just regular weed?
Right?
Like, I mean, if you wanted to get high, you don't have to do bath salts. And if you're so far gone that weed don't do it for you anymore, you need to
I actually got into an argument with a friend of mine not too long ago about weed. And he's like, "Oh, this is the lettuce of the gods." I said, No. Maybe 100 years ago, when you'd find it growing wild out someplace, that would maybe been the lettuce of the gods. But nowadays, you've got strands, you've got selective breeding going on with these plants to make more potency, to make it do specific things, you know, to cure cancer or alleviate the pain from, and it's been crossbred and synthesized and enhanced so much in the last 20 to 30 years that it is nothing like what it was originally when it was wild. Nothing like it.
Well, I mean, they were up here, there was a big thing. They were dipping the weed in like freaking acid for a bit. Then they were dipping it in crystal meth. Now they're dipping it in fucking fentanyl. Like, we have dispensaries up here, and that's about the only place you can go because you never know what's on the fucking streets anymore. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds bad, and I'm not promoting drug use. Neither is Ghost. Before anyone's like, "Oh my God," okay, I'm just saying. it's pretty bad when now the government actually has their hand in the marijuana industry. Okay.
I mean, they're legalizing it, and then they're putting their stipulations on it for this and that. It has to be government approved, if the potency and this and that and everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. Like, but yet they're going, we want to get rid of drug dealers. Okay, well, technically, government, just so you know, you've become one. May not be a harsh drug, but you've become one.
Well, and you know, I kind of agree with the whole government getting into it and legalizing it, because, I mean, you imagine that the taxation that they're going to have on weed sales and things like that. That's money that can go to schools and hospitals and, you know, places like that. Bring down the cost of medications and treatments and things like that. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I think that it definitely helps out the economy and things like that. And it's one of those drugs that if it was even legalized as a recreational thing, I mean, you're driving a car high. Okay. If you get into an accident, there's no damage. He was only driving 3 miles an hour anyways. I mean,
oh my God. Actually, up here, you're not allowed to drive high. We actually have signs on our highway.
I was just kind of making light of it.
No, listen to this, okay? This is the funny part. On our highway, it used to say, drive safe, drive sober, okay? And then it would say, don't drink and drive. Now, it literally tells you not to basically be high and drive. Literally, don't smoke and drive. Like, it's ridiculous. I understand why they legalized it, and it makes sense, okay? But the problem is now you've got dealers that have to step up their game, because there's always going to be someone out there that wants a greater high.
Well, that's just the thing, and I've seen this. I seen this just a week ago with a friend of mine who was like, "I need to get some weed." Okay, well, let me call some friends of mine. Maybe they can. Here, his friends hooked him up with their friend who gets their weed from the dispensary.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I got this blueberry kush, and I got this sherbet, and I got this, you know, it's like an ice cream shop now. It literally is. You could go in there and get your favorite flavor. Back in the day, it was like, dude, I need a bag of weed, you know, and you got one kind only, and it was what your guy had. Okay.
Yeah.
That was it. You didn't have a selection.
Yep.
You didn't have choices. You didn't have all these different strands that could do different things. And, you know, this one's for headaches, and this one's for muscle aches, and this one's for stress. And, you know.
Oh, see, and I agree with Lady Swan. She's like, why does someone who needs insulin have to pay out the ass, but you can get Narcan free? And that's the thing, is like, you can get all these marijuana products for next to nothing. You can get all this medication that really isn't going to help, but like the actual medication that you need, like insulin and like some of the cancer drugs and all that, cost out the ass.
Right.
And I'm sorry, make the stuff that isn't life-threatening, that's not going to save your life, make that shit what you pay for, okay? But the life-saving stuff, you shouldn't be paying for that. Well, we now have commercials on how to deal with a fentanyl overdose. Yep, we do. And that's the sad part. Just like all these, like, do you guys have the problem down in the US? Up here, we have safe injection sites. Okay. Now, for anyone that does not know what a safe injection site is, it's basically people that use any kind of injection drug. They can go there, get needles, and shoot up legally. Okay. Even though the drug is against the law, you can shoot up legally with new needles, so you're not spreading diseases and shit. And you're supposed to be able, and all of our, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of Tim Hortons now and a good chunk of restaurants have actual syringe deposits. So if you're shooting up in local Tim Hortons, you can just drop your dirty needle in the deposit.
Okay, see, now that irritates me because, like, I remember back in the 80s, early 80s, you could walk into a Burger King or McDonald's, light up a cigarette, there'd be a tin ashtray on the table.
Yeah.
You could smoke in restaurants, you could smoke anywhere, you could smoke in the movie theaters.
Yep.
Banned everywhere.
Yep.
Most towns now, you aren't even allowed to smoke on the sidewalks in front of like city buildings or anything like that,
Yep.
anywhere around. Okay. But you can go into a Tim Hortons and shoot up some heroin and give them a dirty needle and hey, thanks.
Exactly.
I just need coffee and a donut, you know.
We went into what was it? I want to say 5 weeks ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. We went into a Burger King and they had paramedics there because somebody had OD'd in the fucking bathroom. Syringe, OD'd in the bathroom. Okay. So they not only had to have them come in and remove the body, okay, because Buddy did not survive. He had to remove the body. Keep in mind, this is a Burger King. There's a play area there. There was children in this restaurant. The restaurant did not shut down and clear out before they took this body out. Okay? This was a public fucking place that allows safe injection. In a public bathroom. Okay? Children were seeing this. So now, with all this shit, you're allowing our children to grow up with this shit. And they could go, well, it's up to the parents to make sure that they don't see it. No, it's up to these freaking idiots and the police and the government to keep these idiots away from areas where kids are. That's the way I see it. If you want to do that shit and ruin your life, fine. Go somewhere where there's no kids, there's no families. Like our town now.
That's just it. These kids are going to see that happening in a public place and think that it's acceptable. And when they grow up, they're going to be like, hey, I used to watch them do it right there at McDonald's when I was a kid.
Yep.
Done. What the fuck?
But this is my point. Like, it's gotten so crooked. Like, you're giving them free injection free injection sites because, and safe injection sites, because you don't want them putting this stuff all over the place, but then you give them places to deposit the needles if they're doing this outside of the building. But then you're not arresting them for having an illegal substance. Does that make sense to you?
Nope.
Shit's illegal, but here's a needle so you don't like get HIV or something.
Right. Basically what it is.
Shit's illegal, but here's some needles. You can go to the local Tim Hortons or Burger King, shoot up in the bathroom, put your needles in the bucket. Like, it's complete and utter disgust. Hey, what's up, Angel? Angel Ashley.
And here's the thing. I could see that happening in like a Tim Hortons or something. Let's say somebody goes into a movie theater and all of a sudden their sugar drops and they have to take their insulin shot in the theater. I could see them getting arrested for it.
Yep. Yep. But, oh, if you can't afford insulin, sorry. Exactly. Exactly. And that's just it. You know the machine that actually reads your blood sugar levels? Okay. My dad just got his new one, and it was actually free for the first time in over 13 years. His last one, he had to pay $600 out of pocket for a little thing about this big, to find out what his sugar's at so he could survive.
They'll hand out that what'd you call it? Norcan or whatever? Narcan. They'll hand that shit out for free. But those people that have to carry EpiPens with them, you know how much them fuckers cost?
Yep. We have
For a bee sting. Like they're out in the yard and they get a bee sting and they ain't got an EpiPen on them.
Put it this way. I'm allergic to bees, okay? I don't have an EpiPen because I can't afford one. So if I get stung, I'm fucked. Because it's not covered. None of that shit's covered.
But you could go down and get you some Narcan just in case you overdose.
We have churches doing that, and not one of our treatment centers, etc., agree with it either. The places doing this are not educated. And this is the problem. A lot of the stuff people aren't educated on because everyone wants to sweep it under the rug, sweep it under the rug. Well, if we don't learn about it, then it's not happening. But the problem is you don't learn about it. No one knows about it. They go and do it, and then someone dies, and you don't know how to fix it.
The problem with sweeping shit under the rug is that rug only holds so much shit before you start getting a hill in the rug, okay?
Yep. Hey, what's up abroad? How's it going? I just find that this world has gone from like it was starting to get bad when I was younger. You were starting to hear a lot more about like drugs and pedophiles and drinking problems and shit like that, but it's literally gone from like a small slope to like, and honest to God, I was reading something today. Now, when it comes to cancer, okay, normally third world countries and Israel and, you know, all the desert countries, they're usually behind us when it comes to like medicine, modern medicine, okay? They actually developed a laparoscopic surgery that will actually go in, freeze a tumor, okay, while you're awake, freeze a tumor, and remove it without allowing oxygen in and without doing any damage to you or hurting you in the process. And they have an 80% success rate of curing cancer on patients doing it that way.
Damn.
But yet, you think any of that shit's over here? Right? But if that same doctor came over here and tried to practice medicine, they would have to go back to school because they're not qualified.
Yeah.
Right.
So how is that fair? They're actually doing stuff to help people and actually learning and coming up with new ways to treat this kind of stuff and remove it with a higher success rate than what our doctors are. But if that same doctor came over here, his degree basically means nothing.
And I have to imagine that, you know, with that particular procedure, there may not be need for radiation treatments afterwards.
Exactly. Exactly. So what's that tell you about our society? That we'd rather cram drugs down your throat
Than to help you.
than to actually just take care of it and be done with it and save the money that it costs for these procedures.
And HIV, he's scared. Money.
What she said?
She was talking about Magic Johnson, Irving Johnson, basketball player. He actually went to school with my stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
They were friends. He contracted AIDS at a party and had AIDS for years, and now he is completely cured. He threw enough money at it that he's cured of AIDS.
But that's my point. That's the only thing that seems to work over in this area of the world. Money. Who cares about what it's doing to your health? Think about it, okay? Yeah, doctors are going to make money off all these illnesses, and so are the pharmaceutical companies and all that shit. But at the same time, how much of a drain is it putting on the government's pocket?
That's just it.
You may be making money, but it's hurting the economy.
And Walker family's got it right there. The government don't want to fix this shit. There's no money in it. They make more money off the pharmaceutical companies and, you know, the drugs that go to treat the ailments than they do off the cure. Because if they're cured, there's no continuing thing. There's no regeneration of the money train there, you know?
Well, no, but you would still need follow-ups to make sure that it is completely gone and shit like that. But look at it this way. You cure someone and they're able to return back to work, you're strengthening your economy by being able to pump out more product.
Yeah.
Which in turn greases the government's palm again. Some doctors in Canada were test cancer treatments with gold and having amazing results. See, I haven't heard about that one yet. I just find it's disturbing that the shit that they allow. It's disturbing. It makes no sense whatsoever.
I know.
Like none whatsoever. But I do want to change the subject because I do have another story. Okay. Now this story, this story actually would be pretty cool. Okay, it's not a downer. It's not even really a shocking story. Well, kind of. I guess if you know geography very well, you'll be like, how? Okay. Now, in my mind, this just seems like you'd be going way out of way, if that makes sense. But Russia proposes a super highway to be built between New York and London, UK.
Okay.
Okay. So this highway would span from New York City, okay, going upwards, cutting into Canada, going across to Fairbanks, and then they would build some sort of bridge there, okay, to cross the ocean, obviously, at Nome, and then you would basically go all the way across Europe, through Moscow, and into London. Now, this project, okay, they're honestly thinking about doing it. Now, the only difficulty is it's going to cost $3 trillion.
That's probably on the low end. You got to remember, you're crossing oceans here.
Hold on, no,
And-
okay. Here's the thing, okay. Here's the thing. It's going to cost around $3 trillion. It's going to cost even more than that once that road's been in place for a while, because you're going to need upkeep. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's never going to be finished.
Well, that's just it. It's like 12,900 and some odd miles of asphalt is what they calculated. Okay.
Well, not only that, I mean, you're crossing over the trenches and shit.
I don't know if
I'm like,
yeah, can you see that?
killer. Yeah.
That's what it would look like. Okay.
So it's going okay. So it's going over across Alaska. So they're only crossing 90 miles of ocean.
Yeah.
That's not that bad. I'm
Not that
thinking.
bad, but here's the other hitch. Okay. You're gonna need a way for emergency vehicles to get out to anyone if there's ever an accident.
Well, they're going to have to make basically islands every so often. I mean, you got 90 miles. You're going to have to put some kind of service center every so often.
You're gonna get a lot of service centers cutting through US and Canada alone, okay? Because judging by this map, part of that super highway is going to run through part of Canada's Trans-Canada Highway, which is the highway that goes from coast to coast for Canada. Okay?
Right.
So it's going to use part of that.
But that 90-mile stretch when it's crossing the ocean, okay, when you're traveling on a highway, how many exits or gas stations do you pass in the 90-mile stretch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to have at least 3 service centers in that 90-mile stretch on each side of the highway.
Yep. Whether
it be coming or going. So you're going to have service center. You're probably going to have emergency services at those service centers.
Yep.
You're going to have a towing company or something along those lines. At least one of those. I mean, because 90 miles, it's you're talking at 60 miles an hour. That's 90 minutes to cross. Okay, so somebody breaks down, it's going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours before anybody gets to them just for a flat tire.
Yep. Sorry, I missed this before I switched topic. Kelly says, I feel worse with the drugs and the BS for the cancer that I said, screw it. I'm just going with whatever happens, happens. I'm screwed either way. See, and that's the sad part. You shouldn't have to make that choice.
Shouldn't feel like that.
You shouldn't have to make that choice whatsoever. And Brian is right. You shouldn't feel like that. But yeah, so with this highway though, okay, it's still being talked about. They really want to do it. A lot of the countries are interested in doing it because they're thinking that they could cut costs for travelers. It could open up new business and the way people do their business and travel. because plane fare is expensive. It's expensive to fly from US or Canada to Europe.
I mean, I can't even fathom what they would have to do to build that 90-mile bridge, because they're crossing a fault line, and they do have earthquakes and stuff up there around Canada.
Yeah.
Literally,
No power at all.
you have to engineer for expansion joints all the way down through that thing. It's got to move with the waves a certain amount. It's got to be able to flex and stretch a 90-mile span.
Which is true.
I mean, it'd literally be like building a bridge from the southern tip of Florida to Cuba. It'd be about the same distance.
Hang on one second. I'm just checking something here. Okay, so there is a bridge. I'm just trying to find it. There's a bridge from one of the anyways, it connects to PEI. Okay, sorry, I'm frazzled right now. And I'm trying to get the distance of it because it does cross over. It's on the east coast of Canada. And I just want to know the length of it.
I want to say it was 1974. Anchorage, Alaska was hit by a Category 9 earthquake, like leveled complete cities up there. And that was back in like the 70s. So to build a bridge in that area up there, whew.
All right, so here's a rough idea, okay? The toll bridge spans from Prince Edward Island, okay, so PEI, to New Brunswick. It spans 12.9 kilometer stretch, and it cost, when it was built in 1997, it cost $840 million. Okay.
Yeah, you're talking up in the $100 trillion range.
See, and that's just for the bridge alone. But like I was saying, you're going to have to pay to have rescuers close by. You're going to have to pay for the upkeep because eventually that road will get potholes.
Police department, fire, rescue, EMS, you're going to have accidents. You're going to have, I mean, when you get out there in the middle of that 90-mile stretch, and let's say something happens, a car goes over the bridge.
Yeah.
Now you're talking like Coast Guard response type shit,
Yeah. But that's my point. Like, and Don's got a point too. He goes, what happens when relations between the countries break down? I don't see it going well. It's a cool idea, but I don't see it going well. And I don't see it going well because if relations were to break down, that gives them easy access to our countries.
Well, I mean, literally, Russia is only 90 miles off the coast of Alaska anyways. I mean, they could almost throw a rock and hit the country from there. You know what I mean?
But you're just
I don't think there being a road, it might make it easier for them to invade. But if things break down, I don't think it's going to be an invasion that we have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be missiles.
Which is a good point.
They don't need a road for that,
Well, this is true. But I mean, I remember years ago reading something about them trying to figure out how to get almost like a highway between London and here. And they wanted to do it under the water. But again, you run into so many problems, like almost like a pipeline, but for cars. Okay. You run into so many problems. You're trapped in a chamber. If your car breaks down, you're breathing in monoxide or carbon monoxide. Okay. you're stuck in this tunnel for hours and days on end. And what if the fucking tunnel collapses? Then you're drowning. Like, they've been trying to figure this out for years. I don't know. I don't see it becoming a possibility anytime in our lifetime. Because that project alone is gonna take years to, one, get approved, two, to build, and I don't see it going well. You would have to pull together money from every country involved just to make that even happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not impossible. Maybe a little improbable, but it's not impossible. It can be done.
I don't think it's impossible. I'm saying it's impractical.
Right. I think it's going to be impractical until there's a one world order. You know what I'm saying? Which it could come down to by the end of it all. But
well, I mean, how many people think about it? Okay, how much does it cost to drive just from US to Canada alone? Gas-wise, okay? Is it really worth the amount of gas that you would spend driving just to say you drove from the US or Canada over to Europe and drove through Europe? Is it really going to be worth it gas-wise versus just flying?
True.
Because, I mean, they're going to, say they build this bridge, okay? They build this bridge, put all this money into it, and they even talked about making this bridge possibly have tolls, so many tolls along the way to help pay for upkeep.
Well, they'd have to. You know what I mean? They'd have to.
But here's my thing, though. Okay, you're paying a toll, so you're going to get billed.
Going from the West Coast, it would go from Alaska over to Russia. So it's only a span of about 90 miles.
So it's going from...
Ice bridge.
That's true. In the winter months, there is an ice bridge.
But here's the thing, though, okay? You're going to say you wanted to take that long-ass trek, okay? It's going to take you days, first of all, to drive from New York all the way over.
Right.
All right? You're on the road. I would say it's going to take, to get from New York to London via that road, you're looking at, like, what, a month?
Fly over and buy you a new BMW when you get there. Save the money.
But that's the point, right? Like, you're looking at a month worth of driving from New York to London.
Right.
Okay. Who the hell has the time nowadays to take a month off work just to drive there? Then it's going to take you another month to drive home.
Well, here's the thing, though, and I think this is the thinking that they're doing along these lines. It would be a trade route. You would see a lot more like trucking instead of shipping by plane. You'd see a lot more stuff being shipped by semi-trucks between, Canada, Alaska, and
which was mentioned. They were looking at it from a business standpoint and how to change how business is done. But even still, I don't see it being cheaper to have business done that way.
Well, it's not necessarily cheaper, but you got to figure when they ship something to the U.S. from, say, Moscow, okay, they have to ship it by the plane. Now, they can't just keep planes coming over all the time like they can trucks, okay? Smaller loads, 10 times as many shipments. So, in the long run, it is more economically viable to do it that way if they had a road to ship it by, diesel truck compared to flying it on a plane over.
Yeah.
That after a while you create a surplus and then, things can return to a normal rate. But for the first, say, 5 years that highway is open, you would have a shitload of trucks. There would be stuff going from the U.S. to Moscow. There'd be stuff from Moscow over here. You would see a insurgence of like Russian products and things like that over here, Russian trades. military style, old military. Say if you're a gun collector, all of a sudden your military guns and things like that are going to be more readily available to purchase, things like that. You're going to pick up a lot of stuff. There's going to be companies that make same products as like US. And, you're going to have different oil companies. You're going to have different. It's going to open up a whole different trade, which actually drive down prices. Whether it be microwave ovens or refrigerators, washing machines, all that shit's going to be being shipped back and forth. And all of a sudden we have twice as much to choose from in both places. And that's going to drive the prices of a lot of stuff down.
Which makes sense. And I see that it makes sense. But at the same time, I still think it's going to drive prices up more than it'll drive it down. Just because of how much it's going to cost to actually have trucking companies transport things back and forth. The distance, because you're going to have to pay your truckers more because they're going longer. Okay? Then your truckers are also going to have special permits to pick up in other countries.
Well, and here's the thing. Things that they make over there might be cheaper for them to make there than what we make them here for. Say a Maytag washing machine. If Maytag makes a washing machine and it costs them, $100 in parts to make, and then by the time they do the packaging and markup and everything, you're buying a washing machine for between $300 and $600, depending on the style and that. Where they can make basically the same washing machine over there for say $50, sell it for $200, and guess what? We just shipped it over across the U.S. They're asking the same price. Okay, here's the Russian version of the Maytag for the same price as the Maytag. But, okay, Maytag doesn't want to have to compete with that, so they're going to lower their prices to make the Russian model a little bit more expensive. So, buy American, you'll get it cheaper, and it's going to rival competitions between, conglomerates like Maytag or, some of these big businesses. And, also businesses like Lowe's or something like that, they're going to expand over into, say, Russia. So that's, again, you think of the price of just lumber now. I mean, Russia's got some hellacious forests over there. There's a shitload of lumber over there that they could ship over here, and we can buy Russian 2x4s for $1 less than what we can, Maine pine for.
Yeah.
Like the cost of building materials,
primitive.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, which I get. For those of you just coming in, we're talking about the fact that Russia is proposing a superhighway from New York to the UK, which literally would run through part of the US, up into Canada, and then into Alaska and over into the European countries. And basically, you'd be driving through all of Europe. I understand where they're coming from business-wise. I just don't think it makes much sense.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for like somebody like you or me that wanted to drive all the way to, say, London from Spintersville, Ohio, okay? At the business aspect and as far as trades and things like that, opening up, new borders and driving the pricing back down on a lot of products and things like that, it does make a lot of sense. But it's not really that viable for somebody that's going to travel because they could just fly over. I mean, it's actually, it might actually help out by driving the ticket prices on airplanes down.
Well, see, and that's the thing. You drive the ticket prices down on airplanes, then all that money becomes wasted on that highway. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. I mean, it depends on what you're going for.
I don't see a win-win. I mean, if you're in Alaska and you're trying to cross over, like, how Canadian Okay, you know how we cross the border sometimes into US because the shopping's cheaper around holidays.
Right, right.
So that I could understand. So like say you want to take a trip and you're in Alaska and you want to cross that bridge and just be like, "Hey, we're taking like a week's vacation or 2 weeks vacation in some country over in Europe." That makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you're close. You're close to that area. But for like your average person, it doesn't make any sense. Because like I said, if you took that trip from New York all the way to London via car, you're looking at a good month there and a good month back.
Okay, so okay, here's a scenario for you. You're in the market for a new vehicle.
Yep.
Okay. You find one online, but it's over in the UK.
Yep.
And it's a model of, say, Ford. Ford actually makes models over in the UK that are not available in the United States.
Yep.
Okay. Now, you could have that thing put on a truck and shipped to you via that thing, or you could have it flown to you. You have a car flown to you or boated over in a shipping container, it's going to take you a shitload of dollars.
Oh yeah.
Where if somebody brings it on a truck, it's not going to cost you that much.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
How long is the wait time versus flowing or boat?
No, I'm sure there's probably a wait time. Let's say you wanted a specific model of, say, Porsche that was only available over in Germany. They don't even have the vehicle in the United States.
It was
Yeah.
So you're,
available worldwide.
it would make specific cars available worldwide. You could have them shipped from anywhere. I mean, if you're an avid car collector, you imagine how many old muscle cars from the United States being shipped to Russia?
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be flying out the door, the new Mustangs and Chargers and shit that aren't available over there. Oh man, we're gonna be making some money off of that. All of a sudden the car production is up. Car prices start coming down because now we can get the MAN trucks and things like that from over in Europe easily enough just shipped over here. There you go. I mean, it would be really nice to see cars, the prices that they were back in the 70s, when you could go out and buy an Oldsmobile for $3,500 brand new out the door.
But see, I honestly think there would still be a catch. They would still try and get you for the prices that we pay here. Okay. And I did see Don's one comment. He's like, if they had a toll, like if they had tolls along that highway, every country's going to want it in their currency, which would eventually get confusing because you're not just crossing Canada, US, and Moscow, like Russia and London.
You know what?
Crossing every European country.
That's what it would come down to. It would come down to every country utilizing the euro.
Yeah, this is true.
Yep.
Don says, or just go get it yourself. But again, I think they're looking at it from a business standpoint, and I get that because economies do need to grow stronger. I get it. Times are changing. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening anytime soon, if it ever happens at all, to be honest with you. I could understand them putting in a bridge at that connecting point. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. But this superhighway is not needed. Put in a bridge connecting point.
The bridge would be the start, like the first wave. And then starting the highway over the course of a 20-year span. Okay.
I don't honestly think they need that highway. I really don't. I don't think they would need the highway. I think all they would really need is that bridge.
Yeah.
Because it would connect the countries. And once you have that bridge and you cross over, you can drive down their roads normally.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And vice versa. So really, why do you need the highway? Why can't you just put in the bridge? It would cost less. It would make more sense. And you'd still have the same result.
This is true. The only drawback is when you get over there to the Russian side, you cross over to the wrong side of the road.
Well, I mean,
Everybody has to learn to drive on the same side of the road. That's all there is to it.
yeah, I'm not going to be left-hand driving anytime. It's not happening. I would rather walk. But you know what I mean? Like it just they have a good idea. They have a good plan, but their execution of it sounds too much.
I'm with you. The highway thing, that might be something for the future. Right now, I think the bridge would be the most beneficial thing as far as trade and economy.
Yeah. Well, you
Honestly.
think about it. It costs less. You're opening up the gates to both sides in that aspect, okay? You're able to get the same result with spending less money, which means your prices aren't going to have to jump as much as you think. The tolls aren't going to have to be as much because you're only having to repair the bridge. You're only having to build those islands to house the emergency and all that stuff and the gas stations and pit stops. So it's a lot less money put out and a lot more money to gain.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a cool idea. I think they, Trump, instead of building the wall, build that, man.
Yeah.
Seriously. Get after it. Enhance the economy. The products that are going to come over here, the products that we're going to be able to sell over there.
Mhm.
The whole free trade, NAFTA, all that stuff going on.
Yep.
Hey.
I don't know. I think part of me is like, although it's a good idea, part of me is like Russia came up with it. So it's like, what do they have planned? And if I have anybody from Russia watching, I'm not digging at your country. I'm just saying. History has shown us.
Hey, all the mail order brides that come from Russia, now they could walk over. I mean,
Walk on over, find yourself a husband. Dawn, I tried left-hand driving. It's not bad. I haven't driven left-handed. I've been a passenger on a left-handed in a left-handed vehicle. It's very when you're used to driving the way that we all drive over here, it's very nerving. It's very nerve-wracking to be in a left-handed vehicle.
your vehicles are right side drive.
What?
Your vehicles are right side drive in Canada?
I'm talking about on the road.
Well, that's what, yeah. Like, okay, so over there, like the steering wheel is on the right hand side of the car instead of the left.
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Well, you was calling it left hand driving. It's really it'd be your right hand.
I'm talking about like side of the road where you drive kind of thing. I'm not talking like left-hand drive vehicle.
Okay.
Either way, listen, it's very nerving. Okay, it's very unnerving to be in one of those vehicles, and the reason being is when you're used to being on the right side of the road, and all of a sudden you're on the left side of the road, and cars are coming at you from the right side, you almost feel like you're gonna get pulled over. You almost feel like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong lane. Someone's gonna fucking hit me.
Right.
Like it's messed up. It's cool, but it's messed up. It's very nerve wracking.
This, you know how hard it is to work both pedals from the passenger seat?
Tell us all about it, Don. What?
Are the foot pedals backwards too? I've never driven a right hand drive car.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I never got close enough to look.
I mean, I've when I was learning how to drive a standard, I worked the gear shift and everything with the left hand. So it's
yeah,
that would be a little different, but you could get used to it. Everybody starts out, in mom and dad's car. Can I shift for you? Okay, shift. But
this is true. Battle says because what if a tsunami comes and destroys the entire bridge, and they have to rebuild it? It would cost a lot less to rebuild an entire bridge than it would to have to manage the upkeep on a road, a highway from one end of the U.S. all the way to London.
Well, actually, Battle Droid, where they would be building the bridge is that 90-mile stretch between Alaska and Russia. And there's really not enough open ocean to really build up a tsunami. I mean, it would have to be out there towards the middle of the ocean. You don't get a whole lot of tsunamis in Russia and Alaska too often.
Yeah.
Although there is a fault line in that area. That's usually where the tsunamis start and travel away from the fault line.
What's up, Michelle? How's it going? I don't know. Like I said, it's a great idea. I think the execution plan for it is wrong.
Well, they got a lot of engineering to do with the plan, obviously.
Well, they've got a lot more than just that to do with it. They got to refigure everything. Because I don't know about you, but if someone presented me something that said, 3 trillion versus like a couple 100,000 or, well, not 100,000, but a couple million, you know what I mean? Makes a lot more sense to just build that bridge than it does to build an entire highway.
I mean, they're going to have to make this big enough to make it stable over 90 miles of bridge work. So you're talking each lane, east and west, is going to have to be at least 4 lanes wide.
Yep.
The 8 lanes overall with service plazas, maintenance plazas, police departments, fire, EMS, gas stations, garages.
Well, those emergency areas are going to have helipads too, because you're going to have to be airlifted out of there.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention that you're talking about an area that goes from Alaska to Russia. Okay, this is way north.
David,
in the wintertime, that highway, they have to find some way of keeping the ice off that thing.
Yep.
And we're talking in an area where there's ice year round in that area, pretty much. Yep. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be icy. It's going to be, it's going to
basically be hell.
I mean, they'd almost have to make a heated highway, a heated bridge.
Yeah.
Honestly. And there's some engineering for you.
I'm wondering. I don't know. They'd have to really sit down and figure out what they could use to kind of combat that issue alone.
Well, I mean, there is ways. There's, radiant heat. They could put it underneath the ground and pipe hot water through it from the service plazas and things like that.
Yeah.
Back and forth. So I mean, it is possible.
Go to the dark
So David, the producer, just came in. We're talking about Russia's plans for a superhighway from New York to London, England. And whether or not it would be feasible. I think, like I said, I think if they did just the bridge, I think would be more than enough.
I think so too.
Oh,
I mean, Alaska already has a perfect place to put a highway coming back down into the lower 48, where the old Alaskan pipeline used to come down through Canada.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's already leveled out, flattened out. All they got to do is replace the old pipeline that isn't in use anymore with a highway going down through there.
Yeah, this is true.
Really do,
So I wanted to show this because it came in. So I don't know if y'all can see that. Juliet Miranda, Urban Soaked Stories. It came in, as you can see, David. These are David, the producer, and Juliet Miranda's coasters. So, guys, I'm telling you, you got to go check out David, the producer. Go check out his amazing wife, Juliet Miranda. Sure, it would take an effing boat. Well, and this is the thing, is crossing a bridge more feasible than just flying? Yep, see? Even Ghost has some of their products.
Yep.
I really
I did the unboxing on the on the live stream the other day. In fact, I was talking to Dave, the producer, before I went live, and I was like, "Well, hell, if you sent them out the other day, they're probably in my mailbox. I haven't checked my mail today." And sure enough, they were in the mailbox.
I love them. I have a piece of blackboard that I'm going to take, and whenever somebody sends something from their channels or fan mail or anything like that, I'm going to stick it on the blackboard. So I'm going to actually put one of these coasters up on the blackboard and start building my YouTube poster. I guess.
I'm just going to go up to the arts and crafts store. They sell the shadow boxes in there. It's like a picture frame, but it's real thick. You can put things. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put multiple people's stuff in one. So I'm going to get one big one, and I've got like the letter from Gil Skills with the signed $2 bill, and I got the coasters and the flask from Juliet Miranda and Dave the producer, and
this is what
I got
it on.
an autographed bumper sticker from Michigander Man, and like I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in one and hang it on the wall.
Well, I'm gonna stick everything on this thing. You can't really see all of it. It's 20 by 30, and I'm gonna obviously make a title for it and whatnot, and just put everything on here.
And then we got some like random stickers. I got one from Captain Jerk. I got my Captain Jerk
that
sticker.
too.
Stuff like that.
We've got, what do we have? We have poker chips from Jimmy Choo You. We've got the coasters now. We've got stuff from, I don't know if you remember Phil 1983, was it, honey?
Yeah.
Do you remember him?
He's
He is a YouTuber from the UK. He's doing e-cig reviews now. But he sent over some stuff for the kids. He had sent over some e-juice for us and some other stuff. We're going to put that stuff on there. The poker chips from Jimmy, one of the coasters from David and Miranda, Captain Jerk sticker. We have that. We've got a bunch of other stuff too from other YouTubers that we're just going to stick on there. We have 200 more to give away.
David and Juliet.
Yeah. Sorry.
David and Miranda.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, he knows what I'm talking about. I'm not all there right now. Then again, I'm never really all there. So, I mean, yeah.
She's somewhere. She's about halfway across that bridge between Alaska and Russia right now.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much where I live lately.
Flat tire on the side of the road, calling for the service plaza to come fix the tire,
Yeah, I'm usually out in left field somewhere. You can find me. I'm the idiot wandering around going, where's the ball? That's me.
Brian's standing outside the van looking at the tire going, yeah.
Hey.
That happens.
He's sitting back there like, why you got to drag me into this shit? Well, guys, I appreciate everybody that came in tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories. It was different. I will have, obviously, different stuff next week. But it was just ones that I came across today. The theme for today seemed to be what the fuck kind of day. So, which usually is pretty much how it goes with Whacked Out Wednesday. But these ones were really... I find these ones they weren't the norm for Whacked Out Wednesday. It was more or less things that pissed me off today. And the only one that really didn't piss me off is the bridge. So, but guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you to James for dropping those links. Thank you to everybody, all the mods in here. Thank you to Kells for the super chat. I really appreciate it, hon.
You know why they're build that bridge? You know why they should build that bridge?
I'm sure you're going to.
Because they want to legalize marijuana in Russia too.
Isn't it? Most of the European countries are legal for it,
right?
So think
about the trade that we'd have going over there with all the strands and shit they got going over here.
So Lady Swan reminded me of a story. I can't even remember the full story now, but I remember it was about them legalizing the chemical castration of pedophiles.
Yeah.
anyone being convicted of a sex crime, I believe it was, or was it just sexual assault on a minor? I can't remember the full details, but they want to legalize castrating them. I did also, that brought up another point. I just remember this other story I read today too. They are going to, I can't remember if it was the States or Canada. I think it was the States. But they're going to have it where they can legally castrate someone, but the guys will get the choice. Okay, so here's how it works. They will be allowed out of prison if they agreed to be castrated. If they don't agree, they will spend their life in prison. Yes, Alabama. That's what it was. Thank you.
You should go on home to Greenbow, Alabama.
Anyways, guys, I'm going to head out. I hope, yes, Alabama. David's. Yes, Alabama. They are doing the chemical castration of pedophiles. So, I mean, if you're in Alabama and you're a pedophile, I'd like to say I feel bad for you, but I don't. I hope you lose your nuts. Now, here's my question, though, okay? You castrate someone. Now, that's usually a term for males. What about females? Females too.
We got a simple solution for that right, too. Watch. Super glue.
Oh my God, super glue. Really? Yes. Okay. Yes. But yeah, so guys, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I feel better now. My blood pressure went down a bit. I was holding in all that hate. I took it out on the animal cruelty assholes and the pedophiles. So we're good now.
The cat just peeked over your shoulder like, we're good? We're good now?
Yeah. He's trying to talk me into more treats.
You want some dog ham?
No, he's actually, like I said, he's come a long way. Anyone who knows our cat, he was abused, like I said, on Walker Family Stream. And he doesn't like people touching him, being near him. And lately, he's been really good. Like, he's been coming to me now.
You got to clarify that because you literally said he was abused on Walker Family Street.
Hey,
So I don't want everybody to think that it was like Walker Family was abusing the cat. Nothing like that.
No. Okay, like I mentioned on Walker Family is what I said.
There you go.
I said that before. Go back and rewatch it.
That sounds better.
Go back and rewatch it. I said it before. Listen, you and I have had this fight going.
I'm just saying it could be misunderstood.
Start this on the show, Ghost.
I was just saying that it could have been misunderstood and taken the wrong way.
I said it before, you just didn't hear it. Go back and rewatch it. Anyways, guys, have a good night. I will catch you guys Wednesday. Don't forget, we've got EVPs tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern on Brian's channel. So Brian's Paranormal. Friday, are you doing a support stream?
Thinking about it. If I can keep my internet going.
Okay, so there may be a support stream Friday, so you gotta watch for that. I don't really know what else is going on this weekend.
This weekend again.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
What?
Lady Swan just informed me that she is off this weekend again. Maybe we can go somewhere and do something.
Sweet.
I'm thinking Palace of Gold.
Maybe. There's no signal, though.
No, we'd have to film it and upload it, but
I don't want to do it.
All right, guys. So keep your eyes on the channels. I'm not sure. I know Red's been going live like throughout the day, so keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Walker Family. Just watch all the channels. That's pretty much all you really have to just watch it. Okay. Go over to the merch store, guys. Get yourself some merch. Get yourself some of my merch, Ghost merch, Brian's merch, Arcade's merch. I believe Walker Family has merch as well. Aniki, does she have a merch store or does she sell it like herself?
I think she's got a merch store too.
Does she? Because I've never seen a link for it.
Oh, well, maybe not then. I don't know.
Okay, well, go over to her channel and find out. Okay?
She used to have Teespring, but I don't think she uses it anymore. She uses something else. But
Okay.
guys, if you like the content that JoJo's putting out on her streams, hit her up with a super chat, even if it's $1 or $2. Let show her she's appreciated.
Yes, thank you, Cal.
Make it rain up in there.
Guys, anyways, like I was saying, smash the like. Send this out even when the stream ends, guys, because it can always be rewatched. Yes, Aniki is there. You go. She does have a Teespring, so go over to her Teespring.
I know she used to.
Well, Sharpshooter's saying she does. He would know.
I know she did the jackets and something, and that she got done locally, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if she was doing the local thing or she
All right.
still Teespring.
Go over to her channel, check out her Teespring. I'm sure she's got the link there. Check out everybody's stuff, guys. Until next time, I will catch you guys tomorrow over on Brian's channel with Brian and Ghost. And yeah, have a good night, guys.
Dog ham! Dog ham!